What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and we have we have an exciting thing to talk about here. We have our very first replays that someone sent in. So shout out to Stis or is it Stis? Shout out to them. They're the one that sent in the Gishki Hand loop that you're gonna see playing out here today. And yeah, let's get into it. So, first things first, they're going to summon Deep Sea Diva. That's the easy thing. Summon Netabis and get Dragoons. Dragoons searches another copy of Dragoons. And then this Dragoons is going to trigger because of Netabis, the prince. And they add Deep Sea Minstrel, which allows you to discard a water monster and look at your opponent's hand and banish one face-up card until the end phase to end everything. So that's also going to trigger the Dragoons that they searched as well. And as you can see, the opponent has hand traps and negations and stuff like that with the DD Crow, but that's okay. They're going to go into Halifibrex, and then they're going to go into Auroradon so they can get the 3 tokens and special summon back out their Deskbot 001. This is a pretty typical Halifibrex play, I believe, but that's okay. We're going to see what they do with it, because they're going to be able to go into multiple negates and stuff like that. So they're going to summon out 2 more Phantom Beast tokens, which is going to summon out 1 and get another one of these. And then they're going to go into number 60, the Timeless, so that they can ditch both the Heralds of Arclight and they can get 2 searches off. And off of this, they're actually going to choose the special summon out back Desktop 001. As you can see, get the double searches off. They search off the incantation cards, the Chalice Slime, and the incantation Inception. And they're going to go into Daigusto Emerald. And they're going to use the effect of this to special summon of the Chalice Slime in order to summon out Talismandra so that they can search for a ritual monster, which will be, of course, the Gishki itself. And then they're gonna summon it with the incantation. So, and then they're gonna start the hand loop. As you can see, they detached Herald of the Arclight so they can search up Gishki Aquamir. It's very important that they discard or that they detach this. So if you were playing the deck, because we'll get to the deck profile later, it's very important to always detach your Herald of Arclight, and this allows them to search for Gishki Aquamir. And they use the effect of the ritual spell right here, Inception, to send 1, and then special summon 1 from the deck to add this back. This allows us to special summon Candle, and when Candle is special summoned from the deck, you get to add a ritual spell from your deck to your hand. So they're going to add another Gishki Aquamir. They're going to use Vision's effect to get another Gust Kraken. And then they're going to use this card, which I didn't even know was a card, or I forgot was a card actually, because we covered the Deep Sea archetype and everything a while on the channel. But Deep Sea Aria to get them Shadow. So Shadow can Shadow can not only count as a whole tribute, but if they were to need it, which it's obvious that they're not going to, they could find a ritual. Oh, they are. Okay, so they're finding ritual, and then they use Moon Glacia in order to get their last 2 cards out of their hand. And yeah, and now they're just left with Nibiru, the Primal Being, and they draw their Widow Anchor for turn. And obviously, this is enough to OTK, and yeah, that's the first replay. Very impressive stuff coming from Stis or Stis. I'm just gonna say Stis. Coming from Stis. Planning out the deck and having a game plan in case you don't get the hand loop going. Looks much better than my deck. Anyway, we got Gishki through Nibiru. This one I have watched. This one is a lot more impressive because this one plays through multiple hand traps. So the first one played through one hand trap. This one plays through multiple. Granted, they're not Ash Blossoms, they're Effect Failures, but still, they do play through multiple of them. Watch. They're gonna Effect Failure Deep Sea Diva, but that's okay. We got pre-prep in order to discard and go off this way, and artificially, immediately, just gonna go for Gust Kraken, so they can try to attempt to take another card out of their hand, but it's going to be met with Effect Failure. That's okay. We got Deep Sea Aria. Deep Sea Aria is going to it's going to get Deep Sea Minstrel, which is going to discard the Dragoons, and it's actually going to take out their Nibiru, so we can keep comboing off. And that's pretty important that Stis got all of the pieces that they needed in order to keep going. So yeah, and they added Lapis Dragon, which if it's added from the deck, you get a special summon it, which is really, really good. And this allows you to kind of go off with the combo of Halofibrax, as we saw in the first video. Watch. I'm not going to go through explaining all this stuff again, because we already saw them do this part. But it's still impressive, nonetheless, that they figured out how to make this deck a lot more consistent. It looks like it definitely has a lot more power and consistency than mine. Mine bricks a lot more, for sure. But it also has a game plan for if you can't hand loop by the looks of it. Like, you can just set up negates, and that's really cool in my opinion, that this deck has a second game plan. And notice they drew triple tactics, which they can activate because their opponent activated 2 effect failures to draw 2 cards, and they got more of the desk bots, which they're running as another way to get to Aurora Dawn and get that engine going. And now they're going to take the last card of their hand, and then the opponent is going to be left with Nibiru and whatever they top deck. But it's not going to matter because they have one. They have one negate, but that one negate on a monster effect is all they're going to need, because most decks cannot really play out of this. You loop them, and then you have almost enough for OTK right here. You have that's 3,000. That's 4,800. You're only 200 short, but that's what these monsters are for. So, and the opponent just scoops it up because they have no way out of this. Now, let's get to the deck profile, and you can see what they're working with. So, in the first one that I showed first, they cited in these. So, I'm assuming that they played that they sent me the one where they went second, and it's against 2 different people, but I wanted to show the way I did in order to show you a more impressive replay, because in my opinion the second one I showed you was more impressive. But first, we got Incantation Talismandra. I'm gonna just kind of go through the deck kind of fast, because you saw what each and every card does and why it's in the deck already. I'll explain why the desk bots are in the deck a little bit, and besides that, I'm just going to kind of breeze through it. So, Talismandra, obviously as a ritual monster. Colt Wing, as you saw, makes more tokens to get back your desk bot. 2 shadows, because they search the ritual spells and they can count as a whole tribute. Cantation searches for the ritual spell as well. 3 desk bot 003s. This is a starter card in order to get to Halofibrax and Auroradon, and so you can do what they did with Herald of the Arclight. So, next up, Gishki Vision. Searches for Gust Kraken, obviously, and is a whole tribute. 001, as you saw, is the tuner you throw out, and is kind of like what helps you keep going. Deep Sea Diva is another starter card to get Halofibrax by summoning Netabis. Netabis is a starter card to get your Atlantean Dragoons, and if you have 5 water monsters, or a way to get 5 water monsters in the graveyard easily, you can use Moon Glacia to finish it off, which is cool. And it can search it by discarding Dragoons, searching Dragoons, and Dragoons can search it. Minstrel, as you see, takes a card out of their hand. That can be important as it allowed them to play through Nibiru and all the other, and they could just keep playing through all the effect wheelers. Dragoon just searches and everything, as you saw in the thing. This is a way to, get a +1 on the field, essentially, as you saw. Moon Glacia, like I said, takes 2 cards out of their hand and is searchable through Dragoons. This card allows you to search through your deck, which is really, really good. Like I said, I forgot this card even existed, so that's really cool that they were able to, they saw this and they were like, oh yeah, use this, because, I'm kind of a idiot sometimes. Anyway, we got Incantation Chalice Slime. You saw it allows you to special summon an incantation from your deck, so it allowed them to get whatever one they needed so that they can continue comboing off. Same with, and Gust Kraken is the main card that allows you to hand loop. It's the bread and butter of the deck. Triple Tactics, so if they hand trap you, you can recover from it. Preparation of Rites. They don't play pre-prep because none of these specifically list the monster, so you can't get it with pre-prep. But Preparation of Rites is so you can get your ritual monster and your ritual spell card from your graveyard. So ritual monster from the deck, spell card. Photo Mirror, because you just pay the life points, you don't have to tribute any monsters, which is pretty relevant. As you saw, you don't really need your life points if you're hand looping them. Same with and Mirror is like the bread and butter of the deck, as well as Inception being another way to get get those monsters off the field, and special summon an incantation from your deck to keep comboing. Borreload Savage Dragon is a backup plan. Oh, sorry about that. Is a backup plan. It allows you to negate stuff with Halovibrax and everything, which is pretty cool. Coral Dragon, I'm assuming it's in here similar to why it was in my Troop Dupe Scoop deck. If you don't know what that deck is, I made many videos on it, and I can't play the deck anymore because all the pieces that made it run good died. But Coral Dragon was in there because it can unbreak hands. In this case, it's in there because I'm assuming it's a Synchro 6 that pops cards at discarding if you can't hand loop them. It's kind of nice. This is kind of there, I'm assuming, to if you Xyz and you Xyz with it, and then you get draw a card, and it's just another level 4 synchro. These are the bread and butters of the deck. As you saw, they search cards. That's pretty cool. Photon Strike Bouncer, as you saw, it's a way to have a negate on board. Dagusto Emerald is crucial to the game plan. So is Dugris the Timeless, aka number 60. Access Code Talker is a way to gain gain attack points and OTK your opponent. It's just a really good card in general, and it's kind of a staple rank 4. It is close to 1. Mecha Phantom Beast Auradon is one of the main engines in the deck as well, as you saw. This is, I'm assuming, just an out, a way to out something, out a spell or trap card if you need it. And it's not a bad card at all to have a link to. Sometimes you just need to link things off the field. I get it. Halovibrax is in here as a starter card, and it's just a really, really good and broken card, if I'm being honest. I think this card, they banned almost all the tuners for it, instead of banning it. So in my opinion, they should have just banned it. But as you can see, it allows you to do not only broken stuff, but also kind of cool stuff like Gishki Hand loop. So we're going to move on to the side deck. They're playing 3 Dark Ruler No More, which makes sense. It's a way to out your opponent's boards, so you just play it. They can't stop it. It negates everything. It can out a Dragoon if you're forced to go second. And on top of that, Coral Dragon can destroy your Dragoon if you play the enemy's Dragoon if you play this. So that's cool. So yeah, they take no damage, but it helps break the board. Forbidden Droplet allows you to negate all the cards your opponent controls, and they can't activate cards or effects of the same original type as the ones you sent, or as, yeah, sent to the graveyard by this card effect. So yeah, it allows you to kind of like get out of those hard fields as well. Same thing with this. This allows you to just negate things and everything, stop your opponent from going off and all that. Effect failure is also just a good negation to stop your opponent from going off. You know, this is a deck that wants to go first, if you're forced to go second, that's what these cards are kind of for right here. All these cards are more or less for going second if you're forced to. Lightning Storm, Break Sports, same with Evenly Matched. So, that is it for today. Tell me what you guys think of this, well, don't tell me what you guys think of this deck. I think this deck is really cool, and I'm glad that someone finally sent in a deck profile and replays. Thanks again to Stis or Stis. Once again, shout out to you. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send me any cool deck profiles or replays like Stis did, my email is in the description. Please do so. I'm more than happy to go over them. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.